Laker fam, two more wins to go, man, for that championship. Lakers behind LBJ and AD, and Rajon Rondo defeat the Miami Heat in Game 2, 124 to 114. Welcome to the Lake Show channel. If it's your first time to the channel and you're looking for a different flavor of Laker content on the tube and you value objectivity, rationale, logic, and substantive content from a student of the game's perspective, and you love the Lakers like I do, then consider subscribing. For those of you who are already subbed, switch that notification bell to get alerts when I drop vids. Or you can follow me on Twitter. The link will be in the description, as when I drop videos and post them from YouTube, they'll be on there as well. Lastly, Laker fam, show a Laker brother some love by switching that like button. Now, let's get into the full game recap and my thoughts on this game. So first quarter, Dwight Howard, man, showing immediate impact, scoring 6 points off of offensive rebounds and running the floor well. Then he gets a block on Jimmy Butler, which led to an LBJ layup in transition at the 7+ minute mark in the first quarter. Dwight, buying into this role is why he is flourishing. If he had bought into this role of being a defensive stopper, a high energetic player, a rebounder, a bruiser in the inside, altering shots and blocking shots, things of that nature, not complaining about post touches in the past, he probably would have been greater, in my opinion, despite the back injuries. But just the type of attitude that he had in the past, he got, to the Lakers, and is why, he was jumping from team to team after the failed Rockets project, of course, in the failed Lakers project. But nonetheless, it's good to have Dwight Howard back in purple and gold, where he can, have the opportunity to redeem himself, and he has, and help the Lakers win a championship. He has been very impactful for the Lakers this entire season. And I want him back, Laker fan, to be honest, as a starting center for the Lakers next season. He's earned the right. He's earned the respect of Lakers Nation. And to be back as a starter of the Lakers next to Anthony Davis at the center position, and, of course, AD at the power forward position. It's just going to enable AD much more to have a true bruiser and Dwight Howard next to him, someone that could alter shots, could switch on defense from time to time, things of that nature. Quick, agile, solid, big, physical. So the Lakers have to do whatever they can to bring back Dwight Howard. And I know the guys, LBJ, AD, they're gonna advocate for that. The same thing with Rajon Rondo, just like they did in the offseason, the past offseason. They're gonna do the same thing in the offseason. So I'm pretty sure Dwight Howard is gonna be back as a Laker, but we shall see. Depends what offers he may get, but the Lakers definitely should prioritize bringing him back. Lakers 12 of their 14 points in the paint to start the game, and largely due to Dwight Howard's physicality inside and running the floor, as the Lakers up 6 to start, 14 to 8. I like the adjustment from the Lakers putting LBJ in the middle of the zone and Rajon Rondo later on in this game, who acted as the facilitators, who were reading and reacting faster and getting the ball to AD or Dwight Howard on the side corners of that zone. Middle and baseline side corners are the weakest parts of the zone, Laker fam. LBJ was able to pick apart that zone, sealing none and or others who were behind him in that zone, trying to close off the middle when he was there. And then zone D to me is a pathetic. it's a pathetic defensive schematic, man. I mean, for real. When I was in high school and playing college, and all that stuff, and I seen a lot of zone in high school, particularly, man, I would just laugh because that would tell me that the other team had major defensive liabilities. And once you forced them out of that zone, man, it was pickings from there. But that's all it tells me, is that they don't have the one-on-one capacity to defend, and they have to do it, by trying to hide the defensive liabilities. And that's my perspective, man. It's not really a good defensive schematic to have. Zone D, it just gives up too much. It gives up way too much offensive rebounds. Gives up the middle, side corners. So it says a lot, like I said, about the Heat trying to hide their defensive liabilities, because they're not a good defensive team in the aspect of one-on-one, but they're a good defensive team in terms of team defense as a committee. Of course, Butler is solid one-on-one. Bam Adebayo, but they don't have more than one person to defend a one-on-one as much. Or I'm sorry, more than two people rather, and they have a lot of defensive liabilities. But Rondo, had a solid impact off the bench, pushing the pace and hitting 3-point shots. He is shooting 41%, I believe, from 3 in the playoffs. Man, what a That's not even surprising to those who have followed Rajon Rondo, man, and just overall who follows the game. I don't know why people, Laker fans, were surprised, or the media, they don't pay attention, man, and they just need to review the empirical data behind Rajon Rondo doing. He's been doing this shit since 07, 08, and onward, and again, it's nothing new. Lakers go up into the second quarter, 29-23. Moving on to the second quarter, LBJ telling Iggy to get in the weight room on that layup, man, to the cup at the 9+ minute mark or so. Hey, man, I tell you, man, LBJ be making strong dudes bounce off of him, look like little kids, man, just doing it with ease. It's just crazy how strong this brother is, man, for real. But, the Heat was able to get within the 13-point deficit to within 4 points, I believe. That's probably the lowest I believe they had the deficit overall for them the entire game, man. The Heat, they're going to battle back. That's what they do, man. But they started to hit shots from the perimeter, and Butler was more aggressive for them. Butler was doing a good job driving, kicking, and facilitating. I believe he had like 14 or 15 assists this game, setting up the Heat shooters. Also, the Heat was getting to the free throw line, slowing down the game, which allowed them to chip at the deficit pretty much from the second, third, and fourth quarter. They were able to get to the free throw line. I think they got to the free throw line like 34, 36 times or something like that. So the Lakers had to do a better job without fouling. But Rajon Rondo having an impact towards the end of the second quarter, pushing the pace and finding guys in transition as well as in the zone. The knock was against him from so-called experts and Laker fans, and those Laker fans that who are blue verified check marks and break down Laker schematics and all that stuff. There's no disrespect to people like that, man, but what they just fail to understand in terms of how smart Rajon Rondo and LBJ are. They're too smart. They're too fucking smart not to figure that shit out. And they don't understand the impact of Rajon Rondo overall. They just think he needs to be able to shoot and space the floor. And there's different ways to quote unquote space the floor or to impact the game. And Rajon Rondo does that with moving the ball with a purpose, dribbling with a purpose, and also being able to hit shots. And if they knew that he was able to shoot decently, they would already know. But they're so focused, on trying to make things a one-on-one battle with Alex Caruso, because it just there's direct correlation, man, with people saying that Rajon Rondo can't play with LBJ and he shouldn't be on the floor. It seems to be a lot of Caruso stands from what I've seen. It is what it is, man. Again, I've already harped on that shit. I'm not going to really go into it a lot, but I'm going to say there's no one-on-one battle. Both of them both have skill sets to offer this team. So, they both have value. But Rajon Rondo allows LBJ to rest as a facilitator at times, so he could hit from three, but he also pushes the pace often when LBJ is expected to score more than often, and he also more than often walks up the ball up the court. So Rondo is a necessity for LBJ, man, because he maximizes LBJ in the offensive end. So that's what people fail to understand, and his ability to push tempo, dictate the tempo, create that offensive cohesion for the Lakers, and thus it impacts the overall flow of the offense for the Lakers. And then you got guys in rhythm, little things like that you cannot measure on bullshit analytics and metrics, and that's what people don't understand unless they played the game, or unless they've been a point guard, or unless they coached or anything like that, unless they know the game. And are not fucking standboys and feel by emotion in terms of calling things or breaking down content. It's no disrespect, man. I just see a lot of cats just thinking they know shit and they don't. So, it is what it is. But, of course, they're more appealable to people because a lot of people don't fucking know the game. It's no disrespect. I'm just calling it like I see it. But people want to know, man. They know what's up about Rajon Rondo. So, that's all I got to say about that. But Rondo was able to, hit shots in the zone. Also, like I said, push the tempo, not allowing the Heat to set up their defense. It's another key aspect, man, is when you have a player that's pushing constantly or pushing when appropriate, so that the defense, the opposing team, don't have the opportunity to set up. Because, we already know that teams have defensive schematics or schematics in general. So if they're not allowed to set up, then it's not going to matter. It's going to break them out of their rhythm. And that's what Rajon Rondo does, man. As a point guard, it's important to have that cerebralness and that type of floor general savviness on the floor, man. So that's why Rajon Rondo on the floor at the same time, well, LBJ works, period. So, I mean, a lot of teams are not going to just fall for the drive and kick. Anyway, that's another aspect that people need to realize. They're not going to fall for drive and kick. The defense collapse on LBJ, and they're not going to not allow him to just beat people one-on-one. It doesn't work that way. There's going to be teams that are higher nuanced that are going to force LBJ to beat him on the perimeter and things of that nature. So the Lakers have to have nuance and run plays, and Rajon Rondo gives you that in the half court. He also does that in the break. So he's the quintessential point guard, man. He's the quintessential point god, rather. This is the type of cat I study, man, as a point guard myself. And I got nothing but respect for him, and I understand his value. But anyway, AD with 14 points. LBJ with 12 points to end the first half. Lakers up 14, 68-54. Rajon Rondo, 9 points, 4 dimes. Lakers did a good job attacking that zone and pushing the tempo. Moving on to the second half. Third quarter, we all tuned in to the Anthony Davis show. AD was giving it to the Heat, man. Inside, outside, crashing the boards. I find it funny how Peeps was trying to make it seem like Bam Adebayo would stop him and all that bullshit. When the Lakers were up 32 points last game when they had Bam Adebayo. So it doesn't matter, man. The Heat have no answer for Anthony Davis. None. He had 15 points in the third quarter and propelled the Lakers to a 16-point lead. Then Kelly Olynyk for the Heat was able to chip into that lead to get within 8 or so. Was good off the bench for them at hitting 3-point shots and getting to the cup off of driving kick situations. And then they got to the free throw line. I think Kelly Olynyk, man, had 24 points for the Heat overall as the second leading scorer for the game. I think Butler had 25 or 26, but the Heat will always fight back, man. That's in their identity, grit and grind. They don't lay down, so the Lakers are going to have to earn every victory versus them. And in the midst of Kelly Olynyk chipping into that lead, Rajon Rondo was able to hit some key 3-point shots when he went on their run to gain back the momentum for the Lakers. Lakers with a 10-point lead going into the fourth quarter, 103-93. And then the fourth quarter was a low-scoring affair with good defense and missed shots and a lot of fouls by the Lakers, man, sending the Heat to the free throw line. I think they had like 34 attempts, 36 attempts overall in this game, and then Lakers only had 17. But nonetheless, AD and LBJ were able to put the finishing touches on the game down the stretch to get the W. Man, the Heat's zone defense plan, like I said, is shitty. They need to scrap the zone D and just say fuck it, go man to man, because they just got destroyed this game attempting to play zone. Frank Vogel and the coaching staff did an excellent job countering that zone defense by putting LBJ and Rajon Rondo in the middle. Also having, of course, Anthony Davis on the baseline side corners, or Dwight Howard, whether it was for a lob, and that's how a lot of offensive rebounds took place as well. I think they had 16 or overall, so they destroyed the Miami Heat this game in that zone defense, man. They have no shot of defending them with smaller players. They have no shot of defending them in zone, so they need to go bigger if they can, and they need to go man-to-man, because that's probably the only chance that the Heat are going to have if they have a shot, if any. Let's get to the team stats and player stats to close out this game recap. So the Lakers had 16 offensive rebounds, man. 16 offensive rebounds. That zone defense is literally trash, man. No benefit to the Miami Heat. Like I said, they need to go man-to-man defense if they want to give themselves at least a shot at beating the Lakers. Lakers, 9 turnovers. Love the fact of how they took care of the basketball in this game. One of their best games in terms of offensive efficiency and taking care of the basketball, man. Great job by the Lakers. Lakers 56 points in the paint. Offensive boards and killing that zone inside where the game was at for the Lakers in terms of how they dominated and won this game, man. 56 points in the paint and 16 offensive rebounds. That's where the game's at, Laker fam. That's how they won this game. And then led by, of course, LBJ and AD and Dwight Howard on the inside and Rajon Rondo on the outside. Was the ability to pick apart the zone with his passing, and then overall, he was hitting shots. Player stats: LBJ 33 points, 9 assists, 9 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block. AD 32 points, 14 rebounds, man. That's how you rebound the ball, big fella. That's how you rebound the ball, man. He should always have 10 rebounds or more. So good shit by AD. Rajon Rondo, 16 points, 10 assists, 4 rebounds. Kuz and KCP with 11 points apiece. 2 more, Laker fam. 2 more wins to go for that chip. Comment, like, share, subscribe. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out, Lakers Nation.